Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast, Awaken to Hair Growth. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman, and it's so good to be back to normal. In the past few podcast episodes, I'm sure you've heard where I had like a little scratchy voice or a nasally voice, and it took me a bit to get over this strep cold situation that I got from my child and who, spread all his germs from daycare to the family. And it took me by surprise. And the beautiful thing about having healed from alopecia is that now I'm hyper aware of my health, of any minute changes in my body, of any minute sensations that are not the norm. And even like if I were to touch, let's say my leg, or if I find, I don't know, like a bone or a knot or a nodule or anything, I know what's there, what should be there and what's not, and what shouldn't be there, if that makes sense. And so I'm very hyper aware now. And I really attribute that to having gone through alopecia because it was definitely a out of body experience, which I'm more than certain that most of you are going through and realizing that this isn't your norm. This isn't the way you used to feel. And this for sure is not the way you want to feel for the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years of your life. And so today's topic is the permission to heal. And I wanted to touch upon this because, of course, social media gravitates you and captures you with pictures and people on the fence or doubting their decision to, let's say, go bald and be proud, or doubting their decision to go through the whole meds or through trials, or even wanting to try this new medication that's out that, if you have not heard, the FDA recently approved, and it's an alopecia med. And granted, I've already posted the side effects that go along with it. It's not something short-term. It's something that you would have to take long-term, and results, of course, may vary. And there are numerous side effects, many detrimental. And as you know, this is not the route that I took, nor is it one that I would necessarily recommend for anyone, because you're still not getting to the root cause. You're still not getting to the underlying issue. And instead of sweeping alopecia underneath the rug, we want to really open up Pandora's box, see what's in there, and clean house. That's really what we want to do. And in terms of permission to heal, I often ask myself if people are really content, satisfied with the approach that they took. And my clients, I know they are not satisfied with the conventional medicine. I know they're not satisfied with the multiple things that they've tried, from PRP to acupuncture to Nutrafol and to so many other things. Like, I know they're not content. This is why they come to me, because they want something that gives them results and something that works and something that is 100% natural and holistic. I understand that part. But what I scratch my head about a little bit is those people who blog or are on Facebook or on Instagram, they're completely bald and do nothing to move the needle, do nothing to improve, do nothing to try to heal themselves in a natural way. I'm always wondering if it's them not wanting to, or them just accepting that they have this autoimmune disease and like, that's it. And they're just going to quote unquote accept it. Or if maybe they don't know about that there's another option. And granted, I firmly believe that healing is a choice. I firmly believe that struggling is optional. I firmly believe that now with the resources, now with the proven method, now with seeing so many of my hundreds of clients from all over the world heal, just like I have, I know it's possible for everybody. And what I like to say is that taking, this quote from a Spanish saying, querer es poder, meaning with effort, you're able to do the unmanageable, meaning everything does take effort. Everything does take a bit of you to achieve. So whether that's saving up for a house, whether that's saving up for retirement, whether that's going to college and graduating, everything takes effort. You can't just shortcut to college. There are no shortcuts to buying a house. And when there were, we already know what how that happened in 2008, 2009 with the financial crisis. Too many people there took too many shortcuts and landed us into a big financial, economical situation there. But in any case, healing is available to everybody, and it is a choice and it is an option. And sometimes as children, right, you don't get the option. It's either you eat your meatloaf and your vegetables, or you're going to bed hungry, right? You're either eating your breakfast or you're not eating breakfast. As children, I get it. You don't get too much of a choice. But then as adults, it's really our responsibility to seek and to search and to do the due diligence and not just accept what people tell us. And sometimes also, even if you know that there's an opportunity to heal, even though if you know that natural treatments such as the Hair and Heal program exist, potentially you're still sabotaging yourself. Potentially you're not ready. Potentially you're not ready to come out of your comfort zone. Potentially you don't want to give yourself permission to heal because there is a lack of worthiness. And this is detrimental for you, but then also for your loved ones. The case in point of feeling unloved, of feeling unworthy is huge. And it really has a domino effect into every area of life. Feeling unworthy doesn't allow you to ask the girl out on a date. It doesn't allow you to want to raise your hand for the promotion. It doesn't allow you to take a leap of faith and maybe relocate with your job. It doesn't allow you to do so many things that potentially you want to do, or maybe opportunities that come to you and you just say, no, thanks, give it to John or Jane. And instead you could be upgrading your life on so many levels, but you feel potentially that you're unworthy of these opportunities. You're unworthy of healing. You're unworthy of really getting to a better life, of really getting to the other side of alopecia. On the other side of alopecia, there's huge benefits. I mean, I cannot begin to say. If you're watching this by any chance on YouTube, I mean, look how long my hair is. Look how healthy it is. It's just, I'm in love. I'm in love with my hair. I'm in love with where I am with my health, mind, body, and spirit, mentally, emotionally, physically. I'm in love with how my body reacts and how it reacts to new approaches or new things that I implement, or maybe just adding more of. I love how sharp my brain is. I focus so much on some of the things that I was lacking during alopecia. During alopecia, there was brain fog, there was fatigue, there was extreme dry hair, dry skin. There was a multitude of digestive issues, depression, anxiety, hopelessness. There was just so many things going on, including insomnia, which was maybe probably the worst because I really value my sleep. And now I see my health. I see how vibrant it's been. It's been more than 7 years and I value it. And so every choice I make, every decision is based on whether it will hinder my health, promote health, or take it away. Because if it's going to take it away, guess what? I'm not going to choose it. If it's going to promote health, I'm all in. And this journey of being in the health mode, on the health route, allows me to constantly want to learn more, constantly want to upgrade, constantly want to try new things, constantly want to see what works and how I can tweak more. So just like the professional athlete who is an Olympian, let's say, or even someone who's not an Olympian, but who is definitely a powerhouse like Tom Brady, he hasn't, I'm sure, for sure, if you've watched his documentary, his diet has changed, his lifestyle has changed, his regime has changed. Everything has changed in order from him from the beginning, from when he was in his 20s to now that he's in his 40s and he's still playing professional football. So for those of you who are outside of the US, he's a professional football player and he's overcome so many obstacles and he's still performing at a very, very high level, even though he's in his 40s, which is unheard of because normally in professional football, you retire in your 30s and you're already considered like an old man in your 30s. And usually in professional sports, that's usually the age range. It's like mid 30s and you're done, right? Kobe Bryant retired at 38 with a ton of injuries. And retiring at that age is kind of like old man already, stigma. And yet Tom Brady is 42, 3 maybe. And he's performing at such high levels, continues to win, continues to embody diet and lifestyle, continues to walk the walk, talk the talk. And you can see it in his performance. You can see it when he wins all these, I want to say tournaments, but that's the wrong word, Super Bowls. And so he's just one example of many other athletes or Olympians who go the extra mile, who continue to tweak and switch and reach higher and higher and higher levels. Personally, that's where I'm at. I want to continue to reach higher and higher levels of my health. But going back to permission to heal, that's a big one. And no one can give you that permission unless you give it to yourself first. And that stems from self-love. That stems from loving yourself so much that you're like, yes, I am worthy. Yes, I can heal. And yes, I do want to do something about it. The permission to heal is out there and it's a real thing. It really is. And I see this a lot, especially in young females or in young Instagram people who they wallow and weep and use the stigma of alopecia, of it being non-curable, of it not being able to do anything. And they just kind of like sit in this puddle of self-doubt. They sit in this puddle of not looking beyond what's right in front of them. And potentially because I love doing research, potentially because I tend to go the extra mile in whatever I obsess about, this is probably what's led me to my success, what's led me to sharing my success story and then also method with others. And I think there is so much power when we decide for ourselves, no more hair loss, no more suffering, no more crying, no more tears, no more sadness, no more depression, no more anxiety. And we just say, no more. And it takes courage to overcome that fear. It takes courage to overcome that next step, to say, yeah, I want to heal and I'm ready. And even when you're not ready, taking that first step and the second baby step and the third baby step. This is not a race. This is not a race between you and the next person who has alopecia. This is not a race between you, your neighbor, your coworker, your sister, or anyone else. We're all on our own healing journey. For me, it took 3 years. You know this, a little more than 3 years, actually. And for many others, it takes longer. For many others, it takes a lot shorter time. And at the end of the day, it just depends how badly you want it and how much you allow yourself the permission to say, okay, I want to heal. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to live like this. And sometimes I can see I have really good foresight and I can see kind of the clearing through the clouds. And I could say just by talking to a client or just by interacting with them a little bit, I can see and sense how determined they are and how much they want to be healed in less time and how much they want to follow everything. And I would say that the 3 keys to success is to be coachable, because being coachable allows you to be open-minded. If you have tunnel vision about what you think, what you expect, what you want, how easy or how difficult or how whatever it's going to be for you, well, then we just already started on the wrong foot. Because I will say that the Hair and Heal program is a game changer. It's absolutely life-changing, but at the same time, the education within is also life-changing. It'll turn everything you think upside down. Everything you think is correct, everything that you think is healthy, upside down, completely upside down. And so in the beginning, I always get not a lot, but I get some people here and there who, it's uncomfortable for them. It's uncomfortable to learn something new and to take it in, right? And I understand that. But being coachable, I will say, is the first key to success in anything. Being open-minded, looking at all the information, not just deciding that this is right, this is wrong, what they're saying is right, what they're saying is wrong, but trying to see. If you ever taken debate class in college, this is the foundation of debate. You want to hear all parties. You want to hear everyone's opinion and how they back it up, because it's not just about opinions. It's also about results. It's also about testimonials. It's also about success stories. And I pride myself in this. I really do, because it is possible. And so for those of you who are driven, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. It really is. Your success is inevitable when you're driven and when you want it and when you go for it. Now, for those of you who are on the fence, who are not sure if you can get out of your comfort zone, that's okay. Take those baby steps. Take all the time you want, and you can take one step at a time. And there's always a guide to help you. I'm always here to help. And again, everyone's journey is different. So if you need to take a little longer, that's okay. For those of you who want to go fast, go fast. For those of you who want to go a little slower, that's okay too. And so the beautiful thing is you can meet yourself where you're at, but acknowledge it. And then support yourself. So for example, if you still think that healing is impossible and you want to see and be inspired, I would say, look at success stories. Look at other people who have healed. You can take myself as an example. You can look on my website and see all the pictures and testimonials, video testimonials that we have, so on and so forth. Be inspired, because that's that's another form of allowing yourself to say, hey, if these people did it, I can do it. And what you'll see in the testimonials, what you'll see within is that people from all ages and races, from kids to women and men from all over the world. I mean, Caribbean islands, Russia, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the US, of course, South America, South Africa, the UK, the Netherlands, Germany, so many different countries, over 55 countries and counting. So be inspired. And if you still think that healing's not possible for you because you have a tsunami of health ailment, you have a tsunami of health conditions or concerns that you're worried about, or you have just an overwhelming sense that it's all too much, then again, take it day by day. And if you need to start slow, start slow. If you need to talk to somebody, we're always here for you, 100%. And I started slow in my journey. I didn't know what I was doing until I did, and until I figured this out. But that's where consistency comes in. So the second key to success in healing alopecia is, I would probably say, consistency, but also mindset. Mindset and consistency go hand in hand. You need to be consistent, right? It's just like the people who sign up for the gym January 1st and they go all pumped up. By the second week of January, more than half of the people who signed up for the gym stopped going. Where'd they go? They went back to the couch. They went back to the Netflix. They went back to, I don't know, probably hibernating and staying away from the snow. That's where they went. And so being consistent is key. And you need to be consistent if you want continuous health, or else something else could pop up, right? The thing is, I think in general, people in general take health for granted. We just think and assume it's always going to be there. We just think and assume it's always going to just be there and flourish and kind of like be like that trusty dog. It's always going to be there until it's not, until something comes up. And if you don't know my story, I was the epitome of health right when I got alopecia. I was fit and trim, I was tan, I was living in Miami. I had a personal trainer and I had a wonderful corporate job. I was single and living my best life until I wasn't, until I realized it was not my best life, until I realized that my whole world just stopped because of my health, because of alopecia. And as you know, it's more than hair loss. It absolutely debilitated me, mind, body, and spirit. It crippled me. And I know it's crippling you too. The last key to success is to go the extra mile. How is it that athletes perform at a certain level? How is it that to win the spelling bee, or to get to the Olympics, or to achieve your higher education, or to get accepted into certain universities, or to achieve any goal, whether that's climbing Mount Everest or navigating on a sailboat by yourself around the world? How do you achieve those things? How do these people do so? Or swimming across from Cuba to Florida, all without, let's say, a life jacket or a life preserver nonstop for 53 plus hours? How do people do this? It's because they go the extra mile. And maybe that's not what you want to do. Maybe you don't want to swim from Cuba to Florida. Maybe you don't want to circumnavigate the entire globe by yourself on a sailboat, but I know you do want to heal. I know you do want to reverse alopecia. I was looking at an evaluation form from a client today, and she said in her evaluation form that this situation, the hair loss, started around 9 years ago, but now it's at the point that she can't hide it anymore. It's at the point that she can't deal with it. It's at the point that it's really crippling her. And she's young. She's younger than 30 years old. And that's really astonishing to hear, but it's also very common to hear. And so people wait until they can't deal with it anymore, until they give up. And they're like, I'll try anything. And they have. They've tried so many things that don't work. And they don't realize that they have so many blind spots, that their own diet and lifestyle is the culprit. And maybe even situations in the past are also culprits. The good news is that she can heal and she can reverse this. The good news is that you can heal and you can reverse this. And going the extra mile means doing things as much as you can. So, for example, I knew somebody who was training for a marathon. And even if it rained, even if it snowed, she would still go and train. She would still go and swim. She would still go and run. She would still go and bike, whatever miles that she projected and planned to do so that she can do her triathlon. Sorry. Yeah, she was getting ready for a triathlon. And she trained and trained and trained furiously after work, on weekends, every day. And she trained nonstop. And when the day came to do the triathlon, she completed it. She wasn't first, but she did complete it. And completing it is part of the journey, because next time around, if she wanted to be first or second or third or in the top 10, then there's ways to tweak her training, the diet and the lifestyle, the strategies, recovery, etc. There's so many ways to upgrade what you think you know, where you start at, to that next level. There's always ways to upgrade. And it all starts with the permission, with understanding that no one gives you permission to heal. That permission to heal comes from within. And you are worthy, and you deserve your hair, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to live a life filled with a full head of hair and with everything else that you want with it, whether that's the dream house, the dream car, whether that's to lose weight, whether that's to see your daughter or your son with full hair. It breaks my heart to see so many evaluation forms with parents who talk about their children, and it just agonizes them probably more than the little one. Their little one is probably at an age at many times that they don't realize what's going on, or they don't really understand, or they can't even verbalize it. And that makes sense to me, because at 30 something, when I got alopecia, I couldn't even verbalize it myself. I couldn't even realize what was going on. It was all just so confusing. So I can understand how a child would find it difficult to vocalize. And yet the parents take it in like it's their fault. They take it in like it's they take it in. They just do. As parents, you just take it in and you want the best for your children. And what I'd like to say, if you're a parent listening to this, is take heart. You can heal and reverse this. And the beautiful thing is that I know you will go the extra mile for your child. Most parents do. Most parents want to go the extra mile, and they'll do anything, but consistency is still key, and being coachable is still key. And for the adults who you're doing this for yourself, those 3 keys to success still apply to you, but you are the one who has the key to give yourself permission to heal. Permission to heal comes from overcoming fear with courage, taking the courage to take the next step, because healing is a choice. And what we tell ourselves is so critical. We need to reinforce that healing is possible, because hair is your birthright. It's a biological situation, biological. So regardless of your ethnicity, race, type of hair, straight, curly, kinky, etc., everyone has the opportunity to grow hair. It's biological. And so it is your birthright. Feeling and living with full health is all possible. Having all the symptoms go away is 100% possible. And it's all in your hands. And that's the beautiful part about this. That's the thing. No medicine, no bottle, no injection, no PRP, no, multivitamin is going to take this away. It just won't. This is something that you need to do with your own hands. So just like if supermarkets all went away tomorrow and there was nowhere to get your groceries, what would you do? You'd have to start planting your own garden, right? And do it by hand. And that's the same thing with alopecia. You got to do this on your own, by hand, step by step. That's how this works. And it's possible. It really is. It's possible for everybody. And so your success is inevitable when you start taking the baby steps, when you start taking just the first step to believing that it's possible to heal, to giving yourself permission, to overcoming fear with courage. Because that's where overcoming fear happens, is with courage to say, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I'm still unsure, but I'm open to it. Yeah, let's do this. Investing in yourself is also something that I see people have a fear of. People are very easily and readily grabbing the minoxidil, grabbing the shampoos and the serums, and trying the Monats and trying everything else that doesn't work in hopes for hair growth. And yet when it comes to changing the way they live, because change is necessary, being open to education, to a proven method, they're like, oh no. And that comes back from a worthiness standpoint. How worthy are you? How worthy do you feel you are for health, for your hair? And how much do you value your own health and hair? And that's another thing. For me, if you know my story, I was living off of my savings. If you know my story, I took out literally more than you can imagine out of my savings to get to my hair, to get to my hair growth. And it took me over 3 years. My only focus was hair growth. My only focus was healing with real results, not affecting my fertility, not affecting other organs, not having any side effects, for long-lasting health. So what the mind can conceive, you can achieve. You really can. Napoleon Hill said that. That's his quote. And I believe it. If there's people who are going to the moon, circumnavigating the world in a sailboat, I believe I can grow my hair, and I believe you can too. Now, the question is, do you believe you can? And do you think you're worthy? And do you love yourself enough for that to happen? Permission to heal comes from within. Allowing yourself that opportunity comes from within. I'd love to hear your comments. Let us know. Write us back at hello@alopeciaangel.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.